right, y'all, welcome back to Outdoors with Jake. Of course, I'm Jake. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I kind of want to do some localized news for my home state of Virginia. So, got a couple little updates, just some stuff I've been kind of looking for and finding about conservation, just stuff outdoor hunting and sportsman stuff in general. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to try and do it like once a month, once every 2 months. Let me know if y'all like it. Is there something else you want to see? Maybe more states, maybe surrounding states. I kind of don't want to get too broad with things because then it just becomes, a lot to really deal with. But we'll start here in Virginia and we'll just see how it all works out. So first off, let's talk about the elk harvest from last year. As a lot of people may know, last year was the first year for the elk harvest here in Virginia. And it was a very great success. We had all 6 hunters successful, with the largest being an 8x9 with a weight of 852 pounds, which is, by my standards, is pretty darn good size elk. I'm not sure what a great big Boone and Crockett out west elk would be, but for me, heck, just killing a 4x4 would be nice for me. The 23-24 season will start October 14th through the 20th. There'll be 5 antler tags available. The lottery will be open from February the 1st to March the 30th. At the time of this recording, it is February 19th. So there's still a little bit of time if you're watching this. By the time I get it uploaded and everything, might be a couple days, but you will still have time to enter till the end of March. The applications can be obtained online from the DWR's website, or you can call customer service for DWR. And they're great people. They'll happy to help you out and answer any questions you got along with the elk harvest. There'll be a $15 fee for in-state and a $20 fee for out-of-state, which is not bad. And if you don't win the lottery, it still goes towards a good cause. And as all of us know, in the outdoors these days, more can be done than what's being done today. The winners of the lottery harvest will have to pay for a license. So you will have to, once you find out you win, go online and purchase a license. For in-states will be $40, and for out-of-states a little bit more, it will be $400. You'll still get to kill an elk in the Virginia mountains. There ain't nothing better than that. The license is not transferable. So if I bought a license and I'm going with my son, my son's won a lottery, it can't work that way. You have to buy that license in your name on your actual hunting license, and you cannot transfer it. So you cannot give it to your son or anything like that. Once you buy it, it's yours. The winners will be notified on March the 30th, which is the last day to enter. So there's going to be a deadline time, and by that time, it's can't enter no more. And then on that same day, they will notify you. So I'm gonna put back in for it again. If I don't get it, oh well. At least the money goes towards a good cause. But it'd be pretty darn cool to be able to harvest elk here in Virginia, especially my home state. I mean, where I live at in Allegheny County, a lot of people used to talk about there was an elk back in the 40s and 50s that still roamed around here. And people would tell stories about how it would tear up the cattle fences and gore the bulls and everything else. It's a big bull elk. And finally, somebody ended up dispatching it, one of the local farmers. But it's cool to hopefully maybe be able to see that again one day. Maybe all the elk come back. Hopefully we won't have the issues again with farmers and stuff, but it's something to keep in mind. All right, this is something else I wanted to go to. This is something kind of more closer to me. My dad, which a lot of people might not know, was a CPO officer for about 13 years, if I remember right, conservation police officer. And in that time before, he was also worked for the local sheriff department here in Allegheny County, and he had a K9 companion whose name was Boomer. He was a bomb dog and a narcotics dog, and he was a great, intelligent animal, that's for darn sure. Well, this is talking about the retirement of K9 Bailey, Officer K9 Bailey. She was with the conservation police officers, and she retired January 10th of 23. She's been with the department since 2017, and she was a 6-year-old black lab. And she will stay with her former CPO officer, Jim Petrillo. Now, I'm going to put links down in the description, y'all, so you can actually go to these articles, and Jim Petrillo tells a lot of great stories about Officer Bailey and how, the great accounts of, investigating and finding different criminals, just how wonderful this dog really was. So as we all can understand and relate, as sportsmen, um, with houndsmen and stuff of that nature, that's something that kind of comes close to us. All right, so let's go on to another topic, which will go towards a lot of fishermen. It's about muskies. So the DWR, Virginia DWR, did a group effort with the North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission to actually harvest some adult size muskie from the lower New River. So by doing this, they were actually doing a trade-off. So the Virginia DWR biologists harvested some adult muskie from the lower New River, and then thus those got transferred to North Carolina facilities, hatchery facilities, to be able to grow more pangolin, so they can end up releasing more into North Carolina streams. In that trade-off, we got a large amount of musky pangolin, so we can now stock more Virginia waters with muskies, which I know a lot of people that really target muskie as a game species, and a lot of accounts I've heard of people doing that. It's just the fish of 10,000 casts, and they said it's no fight. It's a fight like no other, and I think it'd be great fun to see more muskies around with good conservation efforts to make sure we keep in mind we're not harming the already native inhabitants of the waters. We don't want too many predator species and stuff of that nature, because you already got otters making a great comeback in Virginia, especially up here in the mountains where I live at, which is a good thing. But at the same time, you have to be mindful and keep these species in check, and not a lot of your other fish species will have to suffer the consequences of all that. Let's see what else we got here. So let's talk about some harvest reports. The Virginia DWR finally released its harvest reports for this year, and we're going to start off with the bear harvest. And this is something that kind of goes deep the roots around here in this local area and the local surrounding counties in Virginia, and even the West Virginia counties surrounding this county. Bear hunting is a culture here. It's not just a sport you do on occasional weekend. A lot of people around here live and breed houndsman sports: coon hunting, bear hunting, rabbit hunting, squirrel hunting, you name it. But bear hunting is a big part for a lot of people. And I'm just going to go on the top 5 list here of counties with the most harvest. And we'll start off first with Nelson County. Nelson County had a harvest of 111 black bears. Second will be Botetourt County with 100. Third will be Bath County with 96. Fourth will be Rockbridge County with 93. And fifth will be my county, Allegheny, with 92. I'm going to end up putting a picture up so you can see, but there is like a bubble of just bear country, bear hunting culture, country and culture. And the numbers show that too, because there is just an outstanding amount compared to other counties. And there's some other counties that came close in this list that are in the general area too, like in the top 10 list. And in the top 10 list, there are some eastern counties like the Dismal Swamp area and stuff of that nature that had a good harvest also. All right, so we'll go on to the turkey harvest for the fall. Total birds harvested for the fall was 1,621 turkeys, which is down a little bit from last year, which was 1,644. Not a great detrimental difference, but there still is some difference. The 22 productivity reproduction rate was estimated at 1.9 poults to hens, which is below the long-term average of 2.6. So last year was a lot of rain, a lot of other things that can cause flooding in the nest. It's going to give you bad numbers when it comes to that ratio of hens to chicks, and which DWR said was expected. But still, we're still showing good numbers comparative than what it was in the past. But we still have a long ways to go. And, don't forget to help support the NWTF in their efforts. I know a lot of people who are part of the Longbeards, a Longbeard chapter in their area. And if you have the time, join up. If not, just donate some money to these chapters, because it does go to a good cause. The juvenile birds accounted for 40 to 60% of the fall harvest, which is mostly typical. Most time you're going to have more juvenile birds, dumb, not understand what's going on. Those are going to be the ones, out for the gigging, I guess you can say. But one thing the DWR is talking about is fall harvest is declining in interest. A lot of people are not doing this as much anymore. A lot of people are kind of targeting more species like squirrel hunting or more deer hunting, maybe predator hunting or something of that nature. And the DWR really wants to try and get more people out here in the fall to harvest more hens and stuff of that nature, just kind of keep a good balance on everything. But if it's something you're interested in, fall turkey hunting is a great time. It's something I really enjoy doing. It's a lot different tactics compared to the spring, and I really enjoy it. But for me personally, I never really had much luck in the spring. So for fall turkey hunting, maybe it's just something I've gotten so in tune to. I have a lot more luck with fall turkey harvest. Like I said, most hunters do save their tags around here for springtime. I think most of the Commonwealth is like that. In a lot of other areas, if your game laws kind of work the way as ours do, so you'll get 3 turkey tags, if I remember correct. You can harvest 2 of those birds, a hen and a gobbler, in the fall. I think one is either sex, a hen or a gobbler, and the other one is a gobbler. Or you can save one of those gobbler tags for spring, and you can harvest 2 gobblers and no hens, or 3 gobblers, something of that nature. I'll put a picture up so you can actually see the law. I can't really remember it quite offhand. A little interesting statistic I thought that come from all that was 93.4% of turkey harvested was on private land, and 48.1% of the total harvest was hens. Wednesday and Thanksgiving was a really good harvest. It actually totaled 22.7% of the total, with 368 birds just in 2 days, and that's pretty darn good. Fall turkey hunting, like I said, is a great time. So if it's something y'all are interested in, reach out to people and ask questions. I mean, fall turkey hunting is, to me, pretty fun because it's not so much of calling that bird in per se, but it's actually just kind of locating the flock, just kind of similar to spring in that nature. You locate where this flock is nesting, or what the roosting tree is. You get in a general area, they fly down, and you just kind of make a sneak in. Once you make that sneak in, you can just kind of, more or less, you can walk right up on them, jump the whole flock up. They'll disperse in different directions. You go into maybe more of a tactical situation, maybe go to a nice bowl or somewhere on a ridge, fingerling or something of that nature, kind of get yourself away from where you jumped them at, and then you can actually call these birds back into you. They'll try and locate each other. You can yelp them back in. You can just whistle. For some reason, turkeys in the fall are a lot more different when it comes to communication. I guess you don't have the whole spring strut and rut going on, so in the fall time it's very easy just to bust that flock up, get to a good spot, sit down, and just call them right back into you. And I've had great luck doing that. So let's go on over to the deer harvest. The deer harvest was pretty good, but it's still down from the past few years. The total deer harvested was 184,968 deer, which is down 3% from 190,582 from last year. So it's down a little bit, about 5,400, something of that nature. Which is not a great big deal, but overall is down 8% from the 10-year average, which 10-year average is 200,351. So we are down about 16,000 from that total, but like I said, it's not a great big thing because deer are pretty overpopulated in Virginia, especially in east of the Blue Ridge. And it's a big effort DWR is trying to do to diminish these deer population, especially urban areas, because they cause so much damage and stuff. And we all know we've all hit plenty of deer before in our lives, so we can probably use a few less deer in some of the more populated areas. But the DWR sees this decline number as kind of a successful response in them trying to decline these numbers a little bit. But the way I look at it too is it successful because they're less being reported? I mean, I feel like maybe the deer population is still there. I think you have less hunters than you used to. A lot more people kind of sports hunt now than ever. And for me, sports hunting is fun. That's what you love. That's what you do. You're a big buck hunter. That's great. But the way I've always looked at it, the state gives you 5 tags here in Virginia for a reason, and you might as well try and harvest as much as you can from that. One, it feeds your family, it helps provide for you, and also it helps the environment out some, because deer are competition for other species too, and the more deer you have, the more coyotes you have, more everything else you have, and if you keep a good check on everything, it really gives a good balance to the whole environment in total. But y'all, I hope y'all enjoy this. It's something else I might try and do some more of. If there's something you like, something you didn't like, if there's some information you have out there you want to give me, and I'll be more than happy to do these little reports with. Maybe a local chapter meeting time, or you got an NWTF banquet coming up, or a Virginia Trappers Association meeting coming up. Just let me know, or Virginia Chapter 76 Musky fishing meeting going on. Just let me know, and I'm more than happy to put it up there for everybody to see and get more interest going. But just give me some ideas of some things y'all might want to see, if you even like this, style of stuff. This kind of different for me. I ain't been able to film a lot here lately because I just started a new job, so this is just something in my spare time I've been able to get information together. And I got a lot more stuff, but I just kind of wanted to play with this a little bit. So thank y'all for watching. Subscribe, like, and I hope to see y'all again.